Subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon, to never miss a video from us. Hi everyone, welcome to Test Prep Training. In this video you will learn about some commonly asked questions in designing an Azure data solution. So let's get started. Question number 1. You are designing an HD Insight or Hadoop cluster solution that uses Azure Data Lake Gen 1 storage. The solution requires POSIX permissions, and enables diagnostics logging for auditing. You need to recommend solutions that optimize storage. Proposed solution: ensure that files stored are larger than 250 megabytes. Does the solution meet the goal? Your options are A. Yes. B. No. The correct answer is option A. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. Question number 2. You are designing an HD Insight or Hadoop cluster solution that uses Azure Data Lake Gen 1 storage. The solution requires POSIX permissions, and enables diagnostics logging for auditing. You need to recommend solutions that optimize storage. Proposed solution: implement compaction jobs to combine small files into larger files. Does the solution meet the goal? Your options are A. Yes. B. No. The correct answer is option A. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. Question number 3. You are evaluating data storage solutions to support a new application. You need to recommend a data storage solution that represents data by using nodes and relationships in graph structures. Which data storage solution should you recommend? Your options are A. Blob Storage, B. Azure Cosmos DB, C. Azure Data Lake Store, D. HD Insight. The correct answer is option B. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. Question number 4. You are designing an Azure Databricks interactive cluster. You need to ensure that the cluster meets the following requirements. 1. Enable auto-termination. 2. Retain cluster configuration indefinitely after cluster termination. What should you recommend? Your options are A. Start the cluster after it is terminated. B. Pin the cluster. C. Clone the cluster after it is terminated. D. Terminate the cluster manually at process completion. The correct answer is option B. And here's the explanation of the answer. Number 5. You are designing a solution for a company. The solution will use model training for objective classification. You need to design the solution. What should you recommend? Your options are A. An Azure Cognitive Services application. B. A Spark streaming job. C. Interactive Spark queries. D. Power BI models. E. A Spark application that uses SparkMLib. The correct answer is option E. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. Number 6. A company stores data in multiple types of cloud-based databases. You need to design a solution to consolidate data into a single relational database. Ingestion of data will occur at set times each day. What should you recommend? Your options are A. SQL Server Migration Assistant, B. SQL Data Sync, C. Azure Data Factory, D. Azure Database Migration Service, E. Data Migration Assistant. The correct answer is option C. Question number 7. You are designing an application. You plan to use Azure SQL Database to support the application. The application will extract data from the Azure SQL Database and create text documents. The text documents will be placed into a cloud-based storage solution. The text storage solution must be accessible from an SMB network share. You need to recommend a data storage solution for the text documents. Which Azure data storage type should you recommend? Your options are A. Queue, B. Files, C. Blob, D. Table. The correct answer is option B. And here's the explanation of the answer. Question number 8. You are designing an application that will have an Azure virtual machine. The virtual machine will access an Azure SQL database. The database will not be accessible from the internet. You need to recommend a solution to provide the required level of access to the database. What should you include in the recommendation? Your options are: A. Deploy an on-premises data gateway. B. Add a virtual network to the Azure SQL server that hosts the database. C. Add an application gateway to the virtual network that contains the Azure virtual machine. D. Add a virtual network gateway to the virtual network that contains the Azure virtual machine. The correct answer is option B. You can refer the following for the explanation of the answer. Question number 9. You are designing a data store that will store organizational information for a company. The data will be used to identify the relationships between users. The data will be stored in an Azure Cosmos DB database, and will contain several million objects. You need to recommend which API to use for the database. The API must minimize the complexity to query the user relationships. The solution must support fast traversals. Which API should you recommend? Your options are: A. MongoDB, B. Table, C. Gremlin, D. Cassandra. The correct answer is option C. And here's the explanation of the answer. Question number 10. You need to recommend a storage solution for a sales system that will receive thousands of small files per minute. The files will be in JSON, text, and CSV formats. The files will be processed and transformed before they are loaded into a data warehouse in Azure Synapse Analytics. The files must be stored and secured in folders. Which storage solution should you recommend? Your options are: A. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, B. Azure Cosmos DB, C. Azure SQL Database, D. Azure Blob Storage. The correct answer is option A. And here's the explanation of the answer. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel.